The expanded university, imaginative and boundless. References are brought to you by our personal collection of books, the Cardass Library. Imagine, if you will, a region in a galaxy far, far away, containing a sector, containing a system, containing a planet called Corellia, which is populated by a people that are independent by nature, nonconformists in general, renegades at times, and sometimes criminals of varying types at their worst. The culture was so cool that many a role player would use the nationality as the background for their character, at a time when virtually nothing was known of the planet, system, or even the people. In this video series, we will explore the lore of Corellia, look at the real-world history and the evolution of said lore, and make some theories as to the inspiration for this fictional culture. Before we delve into the in-universe information, let's take a look at the development of Corellia in the early stages of Star Wars as a franchise. Corellians were mentioned in the first Star Wars production of any kind, the Star Wars novelization from 1976. In the book's rendition of the Cantina scene, we even get a hint of Obi-Wan's view of the culture. Let's read. Leaning close, Kenobi gestured toward the far end of the bar. A small knot of rough-looking humans lounged there, drinking, laughing, and trading stories of dubious origin. Corellians, pirates most likely. I thought we were looking for an independent freighter captain with his own ship for hire, Luke whispered back. So we are, young Luke, so we are, agreed Kenobi. And there's bound to be one or two adequate for our needs among that group. It's just that in Corellian terminology, the distinction between who owns what cargo tends to get a little muddled from time to time. Wait here. Later editions of the book featured a photo section. The following excerpt is from the description of Han Solo. Han Solo is the overly confident captain of the Millennium Falcon, a Corellian pirate starship. Accompanied by his Wookiee companion, Chewbacca, he plies his mercenary trade outside the restrictive laws of the Empire. At times, his insanely reckless manner pushes him into situations from which only his foolhardy courage can save him. In the making of Star Wars, the definitive story behind the original film by J.W. Rinzler, it is noted that George Lucas fleshed out his characters in the summer of 1977 by taking interview questions from Carol Titleman. From the Millennium Falcon entry, it's of Corellian design, from Krell, and is used primarily by the Corellian spice shippers. They transport their goods to the center of the Empire. The Corellian ship is a very easy ship to know. It's a very simple ship, very economical ship. Although the modifications he made to it are rather extensive, mostly to the navigation system to get through hyperspace in the shortest possible distance. Parsecs. Krell is a rather grim planet, mostly gaseous. There's no surface to it. The cities are large satellites, and they float inside the planet like in the fog or in the gas. The inhabitants have wings and can fly. They are like porpoises with wings, but they also have claw-like hands. Of course, the world Lucas describes sounds similar to his original vision for Imperial City on the planet Alderaan. That concept by Ralph McQuarrie would be reworked and used for Cloud City on Bespin in The Empire Strikes Back. McQuarrie's other designs would be used for Imperial City, and the name Alderaan would be repurposed. In the classic trilogy of films, the term Corellian was surprisingly only spoken once.
Not the local bulk cruisers, mind you. I'm talking about the big Corellian ships now.
This left the planet and culture to be developed in licensed material like comics and novels. Let's first ask the question as to when the planet got the name Corellia. Star Wars, the role-playing game from West End Games in 1987, declined to name the planet, going so far as to place an asterisk on the Astrogation Gazetteer, clarifying they were referring to the system. The Marvel series had referred to the planet Corellia, 2 R's and 2 L's, as shown here in this dialogue from character Bay in Star Wars 100 from 1985. And out there, I learned something. My mother was an advanced scout for the Nagai fleet, who wandered into Corellia and saw a galaxy that might someday be fit for takeover. The first instance of the name Corellia being used was from an obscure source. Site passes, used by authorized personnel on the set of The Empire Strikes Back in 1980. The creative passes were in the form of passports, as they would exist in the Star Wars universe. As shown in this picture from the Star Wars scrapbook, Corellia was named. It wouldn't be until West End Games' Heir to the Empire sourcebook from 1992 that the spelling was introduced to proper lore, first as part of the signature of Doman Barris, representative of Corellia, and then in Han Solo's stats. Setting aside the flashback scenes in the aforementioned comic, the planet wouldn't be shown until the novel Ambush at Corellia in 1995. From there on out, the expanded universe would begin adding more and more detail to the planet, system, and culture. Despite this Corellian Engineering Corporation logo depicting the Corellian system with the double worlds of Talos and Tralis in the 4th orbit, they are actually in the 3rd orbit, with the larger Salonia in the 4th orbit. Corellia itself is in the 1st, Drawl in the 2nd, and 2 barren worlds in the last 2 orbits. Although this report from New Republic Intelligence asserts that it is the only known system with this setup, meaning having multiple habitable planets, the Tau Sakar system, home of the Genet species, has 7 habitable worlds. Is this rare configuration of a star system natural? Scientists didn't think so. The double worlds orbit around a large space station, for lack of a better term, named Centerpoint Station. This device was built by Killik slaves under the direction of the ancient and enigmatic species known as Celestials. It had the power to move objects, including stars, through hyperspace. Coupled with the presence of planetary repulsors under the surface of each of the 5 planets in the Corellian system, the station's ability is strong evidence that the system was artificially arranged. Part 2 of Corellia lore is coming soon.